Hello everyone and welcome back to another admissions video, and today we're going to be talking about the extracurricular activities. But before we do that, let's kind of give a review of everything we have done until this point. Until today, we have gone over the general admissions requirements to American universities, top universities, and in our last video we talked about the academics you need, the stats, GPA, IELTS, ACT, SAT, A-level, AP, you name it. All of those standardized exams, we went over it in our last video. And if you haven't watched that already, please go and watch it. Today, I want to talk about the importance of extracurricular activities, because one thing you need to understand is that admissions officer takes a holistic approach to the entire admissions process, meaning no one thing has too much power over your application. And the academic side, like your stats, is approximately 30% of your application. And the rest is divided upon like your rec letters, ECs, essays, and everything else. And today we're talking about one of the biggest parts of the rest, the 70%, which is the extracurricular activity. Now, this is a big chunk of your application, right? And a lot of people ask, okay, first of all, I'm gonna go to a university. As long as I got good grades and I'm a studious person, why the hell should a university care about what I did when I'm in high school? And the answer to that is simple. The admissions officers and the university wants to see that you're not just numbers. You're not just a bunch of numbers. There's actually a personality, a face, a perspective behind the screen, behind those numbers. Like, who is this person, right? For example, I am sure that there's about 50 to 60,000 students every single year who have a 4.0 or a perfect GPA. I'm sure there is about 20 to 30,000 people with 1,500 plus SATs who are applying to these universities, right? Now, these numbers are real. There's a lot of people who have these very, very high SATs and GPA, but we can't just accept all of those students, because at the end of the day, we only have about 2,000 students getting into these top universities. 2,000, for example, Harvard takes about 60 to 70,000 applications every year and accept about 2,000 students, okay? With that being said, let's talk about what the extracurricular activities kind of shows the admissions officer before we go on to what they are and give you an example of that. First of all, what does it show? First of all, as I mentioned before, it shows that you are more than just numbers, okay? There's a person behind the screen who has been doing and is involved with his community, with the people around him, and basically have been doing something for the last 4 years, all right? That is basically the overall of what they want to see. But let's talk about the top universities, right? Because that's basically the purpose of this video. What do I need to do to enter top universities? What extracurricular are they looking for? What do they need? And I will get there. But before, let's go over some of the popular extracurricular activities you see around the world, Uzbekistan, America, everywhere. First of all, sports. Sports is a big part of a lot of people's application. And what does it show? A lot of times people play sports and it shows that they're active throughout their high school. Maybe you are a captain of your soccer team or your volleyball team. It shows that, hey, maybe you had some leadership role. You stayed active throughout high school and you were doing something to occupy yourself other than just basically focusing on your academics. So one thing you can do is sports. The second thing, what else do people usually show? People usually say that they're part of student government. Now, student government is something very, very popular amongst a lot of high school nowadays, right? What is a student government? Basically, it's a little organization where students come in the school and make decisions about the school. Maybe there's a policy that needs to be changed. Maybe there is a dressing policy that the school has been really, really strict on, and you believe that it's your duty as a student or as the students of this school to change these rules, right? Now, this is what a student government usually does around the world. And a lot of times, people who apply to these top universities are presidents of these student governments, or the vice presidents, or secretary, or the treasurer, or whatever. They're basically involved in the politics of their school to make change. Another popular thing that a lot of students do is they join debate, mock trial. Now, these are also some things that are available vastly around the world. You see debate every single day in different countries. We have different forms of debate. For example, we have Zakovat in Uzbekistan, right? We have Cybol teams in America. We have mock trials, mock court, basically any type of competitions that take majority of your time, that involves public speaking, going out and debating. Now, as you start looking at these extracurricular activities, you start to form a pattern. Now, what is this pattern? The pattern is you are basically involving, or you're basically getting involved in extracurricular activities, things outside of the classroom that shape your perspective on life, that shape some skills you might have, right? Any extracurricular activity you can think of should in turn shape something inside of you, or basically lead you toward a certain direction. Debate club makes you a great speaker, makes you very articulate in your speech. You can basically debate, argue, critique, these things that comes with debating. When it comes to student government, you're enforcing policies, you're a change maker, you're a lawmaker, and if you're a president of it, it shows that you're a leader. By playing a sport, it also takes a lot of mental and physical power and capacity to do that. Now, all these things are showing something about you. So that's why extracurricular does, right? At the end of the day, it shows a potential university that, hey, I am not just about numbers, I am more than that. Now that I have given you a gist of what extracurricular activities are and given you some of the popular ones and talked about why the admissions officer even looks at these, I want to talk strategy, because that's what people want. People want, how do I get into the most prestigious universities and do what they expect me to do? Because people want to know what they should do to get into top universities. And my question for you is simple. My answer for you is simple, not my question. Sorry about that. But basically, do what you love. That's my answer. Okay. Now, what does that mean? You mean like, oh, you mean like not actually like join 30 different clubs at my school, find 30 different organizations and volunteer and get certificates from like 30 different agencies? Yeah, no. Do the things you love. Why? Because admissions officer can tell when you're not being genuine, when you're being pretentious. For example, let's say that I joined the debate club and I am a very introverted person who doesn't really like talking a lot, and I feel miserable in it going every single day. And even if I'm not even open-minded to the idea of a debate, I just hate it, but I'm going there every year, every day, every year for the past 2 to 3 years. At the end of the day, it tires yourself out, and you don't want to do something only for the sake of college applications. You want to get involved in things that really matter to you, right? And a lot of people tell me like, oh, well, I'm just in 9th grade, 10th grade, I'm just a student, I don't know what I like. That is the time for you to explore different things. Don't create clubs. Don't be a founder of clubs. Don't be a president of clubs. Just go and explore. If you're in 9th grade, 10th grade, you just came into high school and you're just in the spirit of applying to these top universities, my number one advice for those students is explore yourself first. Maybe there's some sports you like. You don't know what you really love at that stage of your life. So the best thing you can do is just explore. Go do some volunteering, go do some research with a professor, or discuss what even a research is with some of your teachers, right? Basically, my advice for the young students, the younger generation, the 9th graders, the 10th graders, and basically those who are planning to apply, even 6th, 7th graders, whoever's watching this video, is do the things that genuinely interest you and that you genuinely have a passion in. Because at the end of the day, when you sit down to write your college applications about these extracurricular activities, you want to be genuine about the things you have learned, how that extracurricular activity you did has opened doors for you, or you have done something in your community because of those, right? Okay, now we're done with all the students, the youngsters, and let me talk straight to the 11th graders, people who are applying this year. A lot of you guys have done everything already. You have your extracurricular activities, you have everything. You're like, hey, Bobir, I'm set. I can't do anything anymore. I'm already in the 11th grade. These are my extracurricular activities. These are everything I have. I can't change them anymore. There's nothing I can do. What do you want me to do? For those students, first of all, I want you to basically reflect on the things you have done. Make a list of all the extracurricular activities you were involved in. What was your roles in those extracurricular activities? Were you a leader of a group? Were you the president of a club? Whatever it was, I want you to first take all of them and write them down. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to prioritize them from 1 to 10. And a lot of people think, how do I prioritize it? And I want everybody to listen up. A lot of people say, well, I want to do economics, so I guess my economics related subject should go first. No, that's not how it works. How I tell students to usually rank the things that they have done is through the importance and the longevity of whatever they have done. For example, if I have been the captain of the debate team for the last 3 years and I have won state championships, but I want to be an engineer, right? Debate has nothing to do with engineering, but I just love debating. It has nothing to do with my major, but I just love doing it. Then that is the first thing you need to put on your application. Because yeah, sure, you can mention your engineering and other things for second or third to show and put it up in your list, but I always prefer you to put whatever you were genuinely interested in and did for a longer period of time that had more impact on you first, and then mention the other things. I can clearly see what you want to study when you include it in your essays, right? There's a why major or a why us essay for a reason, and I'm gonna go over those in the future videos. But I can already see why you want to study something later in your application, but this is the time when I want to see how you ordered it. You only have a few seconds to basically engage the admissions officers into your application. So put whatever you have been doing for a long time, have more impact in, and basically you have really enjoyed first, and then go down the list from there. Don't let any of the kind of these YouTube videos or these other posts telling you like, hey, it has to be your major related. It doesn't. Personally, I had mock trial, moot court, everything have to do with law, but they were probably number 6 or number 7 on my list. My number 1, 2, 3 was multilingual support club, college research club. It was just some of the clubs I really enjoyed and did it for a long period of time. It wasn't something that, it wasn't like a major, like my major related to be specific, right? Yeah. So I may go off track a little bit, but I hope you guys understand the message behind the video is that when you're listing these things, it's about how important it is to you and how long you've been doing it for. That is more important. And we're gonna break them down for you in your essays later. Now, I know I'm going towards the end of the video now, and I want to shift my focus on basically for students choosing their extracurricular activities for the future. Whether you are a student who's applying this year and plans on taking a gap year, whether you're a 10th grader or a 9th grader student. In order to get into a top university, this is what I believe that you need. You need to have genuine impact on society or the people around you, okay? A lot of people think that, hey, in order to get into a top university, I need to cure cancer. The answer is no. Let me tell you something I did that I think made the biggest part of my application that got me into Johns Hopkins, UPenn, Duke, NYU, Georgetown, University of Chicago, and last year I got into Cornell as a transfer student, which I didn't attend, but still I got into these universities. I created a club called Multilingual Support Club. It was just a club for immigrant students like myself who basically didn't speak English, and my goal was help these students adjust to American education system both socially and academically, to make sure that they are fit and they're not depressed. Something that I went through. I came here as an immigrant and I did something to change something for them, right? It had about 20 students, 20 active members, give or take. It wasn't huge, but it was something I was doing to make an impact on my society. For example, I also created something called a college research club because there was about 4,000 students in my school, 1,000 per class, okay? 4,000 students in James Madison High School in Brooklyn, New York. And we didn't really have any college help, right? What does that mean? We didn't really have anybody helping us with our applications, with scholarships and other things. So I created something called the College Research Club. Basically, we would come together in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, no matter what grade you're in, research scholarship, research the ways to get into top universities, and basically educate each other because my school was so big and it was a public school that there was nobody to help us with our applications until it was too late, until we were seniors in high school, right? I saw a problem, I fixed it. Third club I created. During coronavirus, a lot of people went into shock. A lot of people were like, financial crisis, stock market crashing, all of this stuff. And people started getting interested in Bitcoins because there was a huge surge in Bitcoins at that time. And all of my classmates and my friends were like, oh, let's learn about cryptocurrencies, let's do this, let's do that. And you know what I did? I just said, hey, I'm gonna go talk to the AP macroeconomics professor and I'm gonna create the finance and investing club in my school. So I became a founder of 3 different clubs. They were not huge. They were small clubs with probably 15 to 20 students at most. But the thing with all of them was that I saw a problem and I just created a club to solve this problem. I became the founder and president of these clubs and I genuinely was interested in them because these things that basically helped me, right? Because College Research Club, hello, I want to get into a top university too. Finance and Investing Club, hello, I want to learn about finance and investing too. Like I'm going to go to college. I'm going to be an adult in the future. I want to know how money works, right? So I created clubs and because I saw problems in my society that needed to be answered, right? And now a lot of these universities, they want these type of students who have this mindset for change, to enact change, basically to be change makers in some way, okay? It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be, even if it's small, it just has to be genuine. And even if you don't do something like that, we just want to see students who have the potential to do great things in the future, because you need to realize something. At the end of the day, these big names, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Johns Hopkins, Duke, all of these have great alumni, which makes them even greater, right? They have really famous people. For example, Donald Trump went to University of Pennsylvania, UPenn, an Ivy League. Barack Obama got his law degree from Harvard, right? Now, of course, like these are big universities, but these people gave more fame to these universities, right? Now, when an admissions officer is reviewing your application, they're saying, hey, does this person have the potential from the things they have done, the roles they played, do they have the potential to do great things later in the future? Do they have the potential to basically become famous in the future and be successful after basically graduating from us? So universities are trying to pick out talents that they can use for their own sake and for your own, right? For this reason, the extracurricular activity section is this one big section that really comes down to defining defining who you are and the things you have done in the last 4 years, right? Now, with that being said, I will conclude the video. However, I understand that there might be a lot of questions after this video. I want you guys to leave it in the comments, all the questions you have, subscribe, and in the future videos, I will go over the importance of extracurriculars in your essays, because extracurricular is this broad topic. It's really hard to fit it into a 10 to 15 minute video. I don't know how long this video is, but for all future videos, I will go into extracurricular activities and how to basically deploy them in your personal statement essay, extracurricular activities, and everything else. A little hint for you guys, next video will be on personal statement essays. With that being said, I will see all of you later. Enjoy your day. See you all later. Bye, guys.